meeting if it was about collusion with Russia. Kingston, a former senior advisor to the Trump campaign, as he defended Donald Trump Jr.'s June 2016 meeting at Trump Tower with Russian attorney Nadala. It just defies logic. And here goes Rye. There are a lot of things that your president has done to defy logic. Let's at least acknowledge that. Well, he's, first of all, honey, she's missing out on the biggest thing. He is the president of the United States. I know that's something that a lot of people deny. Apparently, she's denying it. And in denial, she needs to see a shrink. Get over it, honey. That's reality, not the reality that you live in. You're getting your marching orders from Time Life, who owns CNN, and the ratings are dismal. But these are the things I'm convinced. This is like shock jock radio. You know, whatever the shock jock is in your area, your city, like Howard Stern. They're trying to be like Howard Stern on CNN. The more provocative, the more shocking, the more out there that you can possibly be, you know, they're going to try to attract that denominator of folks in our country, which there exists that, where they have venom in their mouth and they just want to, you know, get rid of Donald Trump. I heard one Dem say, we want him kicking and clawing and crying on the way out of the White House. You know, let's just rip him out of there. We hate him. He's destroying America. He's hurting America. Let's mention all the things and all the ways in 8 years that Barack Hussein Obama's destroyed our country. Where, remember, Barack Hussein Obama, what I'm going to do, mark my words, we're going to fundamentally change America. Things are going to be different. Things are going to be completely different. It'll be a new America and a new day. One you can be proud of. Yeah, okay. If people were so proud, and if you did such an amazing job, Mr. President, for all the 8 years that you were there, then why did you lose so many seats around the country? Hundreds of seats. The Dems are losing because of the ideology, because of these strange ideas, and because of the strange behavior. Tom Cruise. A lot of people, they think he's a great actor. A lot of people thought he was a great actor. He still makes movies. But after that Oprah incident many years ago, when he was jumping on a couch up and down and all the weird Scientology stuff, there's a lot of people that just started, well, abusing women, dumping them when they turned 33, and just weird antics like that, and then mistreatment of his kids, and just being a deadbeat dad. A lot of people just stopped watching his movies. And I think that's what's become a large portion for the Dems, for a lot of people that just have this common sense about them, even if they are a Democrat, even if, they have that label that they didn't vote that way. There's people that might have the Republican title, or they have the Democrat or the Independents, but who they voted for at the polls, well, we can clearly see that Donald Trump won. Fair and square. They will go out at any length right now, CNN, for ratings. It's a ratings game, because if they truly were sorry for reporting news incorrectly or wrong, they would not allow their host to go on the air and say, it's not my president, acknowledge their president, your president, as if she lived somebody else. And I'm thinking to myself, honey, pack your bags. We're going to put you on the first flight out to Afghanistan or Fallujah. Yeah, that's right. Maybe not Fallujah, right? Because there's improvements over there. They're making a lot of headway kicking out the caliphate. That would be too good for her. Maybe we'll move her to Saudi Arabia, cover her up so she doesn't show her arms. And maybe, yeah, that's right, she won't be able to run her mouth. That'd be a perfect place for her. So anyways, I just wanted to let you in on it. If you're a CNN fan, Angela Rye on John Berman's show, demeaning the president, not acknowledging the president, and then she took to Twitter, evening posting a video clip from the discussion, of her being proud of it. talking junk against the president and, there's definite collusion. There's definite collusion. You all are liars and all this other stuff. See, you can give facts. You can be rational in your conversation and mention if it was collusion, why was there 5 top executives there? They wouldn't all want to be indicted. And by the way, if there was dirt on Hillary Clinton, according to a lot of attorneys, Judge Napolitano of Fox said that could have been punishable. But every single one of them corresponded even with the attorney's comments that it had nothing to do with the dirt that she promised, that it had to do with Russian adoption. But they won't acknowledge that because these are facts. These are the facts. But they're not going to headline that. They're not going to caption that. And they're not going to tout that because that's not their narrative. Their narrative is clear. They want to ruin this president. They want him impeached as immediately as possible, along with Mike Pence. They hate everything that you and I believe. Diametrically opposed, I am convinced that liberalism is a disease. Snowflake liberalism, I'm convinced that it's some kind of disease. I don't know. Well, I do know where it comes from. A lot of people get indoctrinated from schools. They get liberal professors and they read crap that's not true. Instead of real history, they get the history books that have been censored. Remember the Vietnam War? You ever watch that movie, Good Morning Vietnam? I wasn't around for the Vietnam War, but, you can watch Robin Williams' flick, Good Morning Vietnam. But when he was going to go read the news stories, they would have to black out all the stuff that they didn't want him to report. And it would be like 99% of the stuff. And it was just like maybe the Pope was going to go visit this place or that, but just kind of fluff stuff. And that's what the snowflakes want. They don't want anything to do with God and country. They don't want anything to do with morality. And don't call them wrong about anything. About anything that they do. None of their behavior. Never say that there's something ethically wrong or morally wrong. Oh, no. Don't do that. But they have no problem with Donald Trump Jr. or Trump as being open season to attack them, hook, line, and sinker in all their family for all their problems, instead of admitting that they're causing their own problems and they're ruining their own country and right in front of our eyes. Instead of being for a good cause, a noble cause, what are they participating in? And think about it on a daily basis, on what they're involved with. You think it's notable? You think it's honorable? No, it's not. This is radical behavior. And it's marching orders out of what Obama and Hillary Clinton have read, and it's their doctrine written and dedicated to the Church of Satan, Rules for Radicals. Saul Alinsky. Read it. Get a copy of it. Look it on Amazon. Dedicated to the Church of Satan. I'm not even kidding. But the book is out there, and Obama's definitely a radical. Yeah. Diametrically wants to change the whole fabric of what it is to be in America. And he did a pretty damn good job. He was stopped, though, in his tracks. He didn't think he was going to stop because Hillary was supposed to be a continuum of that. But it didn't happen. And that is why, folks, they are so angry. It's like hell's fear. It's fury. It's like hell is on fire. I really feel like it's this is the apocalypse in some ways, where it's the fight against good versus evil. There's no other way for me to really explain it other than there's a holy war that's going on even within our own country. When I really take it all in and I weigh CNN against Fox and all the newspapers and all the talking heads and what everybody else is saying, and then thinking about religion, that's important to me, and God and country and all those wonderful things that most all of you that listen to this broadcast, that's important to you. But I think to myself, are we not in the latter times? I really feel like we're in the apocalypse. We're at the end. We're at the end of the time. Do you think that things that should just be common sense ideas, ideals, do you think that would just take root and people would just do it? But they don't. They do the exact opposite. And no better than a lot of children after you tell them not to do it. But they don't learn. You're supposed to learn from history, not to repeat the same things, but yet we do. Donald Trump was supposed to be an answer to all of that in Washington for all of the failed policies, for all the failed politicians, for the broken promises that have been made to each and every one of us through decades of elections. You think we would learn? There's a book that I want you to get. If you've never read it before, write this down or remember it. It's a book written by the founder of this broadcast. His name is Chuck Harder. And you need to hit Amazon, and it's, I think, it was 7 to 10 stars. It might have a 10-star ranking, or if there's anything great, whatever the greatest star is. Will We Ever Learn? Will We Ever Learn? By Chuck Harder. Get it. Every one of you listening to the broadcast needs to get it cheap on Amazon. Order it while supplies last. Will We Ever Learn? And any royalties will go directly to Chuck Harder. But it's a magnificent book. And it really outlines and connects the dots and puts the dots together of where we come from and how did we get here today. And really the bottom line is, it names names. It links banks and the big money people at the very top. But it also, it includes you and I. For folks that have gone to blindly, for a lot of people, for too many years, have just voted in the wrong idiots. We've got into this rut. This is as good as it gets. And a lot of people that should have run, could have run, didn't run. And for whatever reason, they just feel like things are hopeless. I think that Donald Trump has given a lot of us in this country, and it's interesting to listen to some political commentators on the weekends. And when I was driving last week to see Chuck, I was listening to a jazz station in one of our cities in the U.S., and they have these community programs that they have over on the weekends. And she was basically talking about the whitewash of America and talking about the browning of America. And she was a flaming liberal snowflake and basically blaming all of us. And basically we're in the last throes because the browns are taking over and the whites are kicking and screaming, and all the bigots and all the KKK folks and et cetera, this is one last throes. At the end, it's in a death march and a spiral because of the browning of America. And it's never going to happen again. We're never going to see another white president. Blah, 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 blah. And it was just to listen to this, I mean, I was wanted to vomit. But I couldn't believe what I was listening to. And it's one of my favorite radio stations that plays jazz music. I'm not going to ruin the station. I'm not going to call out the station. But I was just amazed to hear. And she was so believable, and she was so smooth with her voice. I mean, she's very adamant about this. And a lot of people just believe these particular things. And I think, wow, really? Anybody that I know that voted for Donald Trump, anybody that I personally know in my circle, I know a lot of people, folks, not one of them, and I can honestly say this with a clear heart, has ever demonstrated or showed or an off comment said anything racist about Barack Obama. Though there are people that did say a few things, but not to the degree that people attack Donald Trump. Remember Oprah Winfrey? Remember her statement when she looked up at the TV? She said she was in one of her condos in her residence in Chicago. And she said, I looked at the TV, in her voice, obviously. I looked at the TV, and I didn't see myself there. I wasn't there anymore. I wasn't in the White House. I didn't have somebody that looked like me anymore. Barack Obama was gone. And that was the end of it. She was so sad